everybody. Welcome. We'll just give it another minute for anybody just signing on before we get started, but great to see you guys here. And there is a chat function here. Feel free to introduce yourself, say hi. You're also welcome to come on camera, unmute. We are getting used to putting our faces on video after all. Hi, Matt. Matt and PEI. I'm in Newfoundland, so not too far. Okay, we'll just give it another minute and let people get in the room here before we get started. All right, great to see. Friendly face. Is it Amy? Hi, great to have you here. All right, so just as everyone's signing in, getting ready here, we'll get going now in a second, but really super excited to have you all here today. We've also got Magdalena here. Magdalena, if you want to say hi.
Hi everyone.
Magdalena's our marketing coordinator and has done an awesome job putting everything together here. I'm just the face, but super excited to dig into things today. So as we're all getting signed in here, I'm going to go ahead and get us started. So we've got some live examples to go through. Anybody who is new to me and the Reflective Marketing team, I love these to be really interactive. I want to make sure that you get a lot from the limited time that we have here today. So really utilize that chat. Feel free to unmute if you have a question. I'll also leave some time for questions at the end, but ultimately I'm here to serve you guys today. Whatever is going to help you to be able to stand out in your local market, to be able to attract more customers. This is what we're here for. So our HVAC video marketing class today, this is really what we're going to be digging into is how to make video really easy and really impactful for your business. So a little bit about me. I live in Newfoundland on the east coast of Canada. I see we've got Matt from PI, so, kind of neighbors. But I live here with my husband, Brandon, and Buddy the dog. He's a cute guy. Normally he's lying in the corner of my office, but he's a little antisocial today. I'm also the host of a podcast, Beyond the Tools. We have some new episodes coming out in the next month, which we're super excited to share with you guys soon. And ultimately, I'm all about helping HVAC and other trades businesses be able to grow. So I'm curious for those of you signing on live here today, who is already marketing with video? Do we have anybody here that's already dabbling in this a little bit? Let me know in the chat or feel free to unmute. Or is this like brand new? If you're brand new, feel free to pop that. I like to get a bit of a read of the room and where everybody is at. So I can tailor things accordingly. So no surprise, of course, that video marketing is becoming more and more important with the rise of TikTok and Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts and all these things. We're definitely going to get into all of that today. And I know for a lot of us, video marketing can be a bit of an intimidating topic. Okay, so Amy says we're doing some video on Facebook now. Awesome. Love to hear that. And if you're not doing video right now or not doing it as much as you would like, I'm curious why that is. What puts you off or intimidates you or confuses you about creating video? What's kind of holding you back there? So I'd love to hear any comments there in the chat. Ultimately, what I want you to take away today is for you to leave feeling really confident about video and honestly having a bit of fun with it because it can be an incredibly impactful tool for your business, but it can be something that you can have a lot of fun with while you're going through that process. And I think more importantly, also showing how video marketing can deliver a really strong return on investment for your business. So, what we're going to cover today is why video is a must-have for HVAC marketing. So, we're going to talk about what we're seeing in terms of trends and performance, what's working, but most importantly, really breaking down a simple framework to be able to plan and record your videos. So, we really want to dive into what makes a great video, what are some tips to be able to really maximize your reach, and we'll really break down the recording process, making it super simple so that this is something that's not going to be as intimidating for you guys going forward. So give me a little thumbs up or yes if that sounds like a good plan for what we're going to cover today. All right, so the passion that our team has for video really comes from seeing what an incredible impact this has had for so many of our clients. So, what we focus on at Reflective Marketing is using social media as a lead generator, which is really about getting in front of the right people with the right offer, and in this case, the right creative. And we've seen how video has consistently been responsible for driving a much lower cost per lead, for helping leads to be warmer. So they see your face, they see your team. You're much more likely to be remembered and to have that personal connection with that homeowner when they are coming in through your ad campaigns. So video has been such a key part of that. And to give you an example, this is a video that we launched for a client just in the last 2 weeks. And this was more of a branding campaign to get in front of people to educate homeowners in their market. And in this particular video, Shock Free Electrical had 3 different customers of their own volition comment and give glowing reviews about the company right within their Facebook video ad. And this is something because they see the owner, they see that he's authentic, he's educating the homeowner market about some of these common electrical challenges. And these customers were so passionate, so happy about the work that they did that they felt the need to comment and support this small business. So that's the kind of power that being brave enough to put your face out there in video, that's the kind of impact that this can have. And personally, why I'm so passionate about video is that when I started reflective marketing 11 years ago now, I used video as a way to really get known in my local market. So early days of reflective marketing, when we weren't focused specifically on the trades, what I would do is every week I would bring in a different entrepreneur in my community. We do an interview on Facebook Live, and then I would do that every single week. It'd be anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes. And that was a huge factor in getting us known in our local community within a very short period of time. From there, that helped us to win awards. We had more people reviewing us. We got more clients. We had more media appearances and all sorts of things that stemmed from that. And now that's a really big piece of how we build our awareness even beyond our local community. And probably how a lot of you got here today in the first place is seeing some of our videos in our advertising or on our social media or other channels. So what I really want to be able to help you with today is how you can use video to absolutely dominate your local market, build trust with homeowners, and ultimately be able to grow your business. So when I started doing video, this was literally how I recorded videos. I didn't have a tripod or anything, any sort of set. I would use an ironing board and kind of prop my phone up on that to record videos. It's pretty hilarious looking at it now. But all that to say that you can start very, very simply. And luckily, a lot of the tools right in our pocket. Our phones are equipped with so much power to be able to create great video without needing anything super fancy or any special equipment. So first, let's set the stage a little bit more in terms of why video is so important and why it must be a part of your overall marketing strategy. So social media use, I don't think this is going to be a surprise to anybody here of just the percentage of people that are using social media. We know YouTube is one of the biggest search engines, right, behind Google. Facebook, people are spending hours and hours a day on there. Instagram, while I think a lot of times we still see that as maybe like a younger demographic, that has really exploded over the last number of years as well. And most people, I think it's something like 85% of internet users are on social media. So your audience is there, and getting in front of them on social media is the easiest way to get in front of them. With video in particular, and really thinking about the buying market as a whole, for most of us, if you're in a position now where your furnace breaks down, your AC isn't working in a heat wave, most of those people, where are they going to go if they are looking for help with that kind of problem? Most of those people are going to go to Google, right? Those people that are that 3% of the market that are in this emergency situation that need to buy now. You've got 30% at the bottom, of course, that are not interested at all. Maybe they got a brand new working system. Maybe they live off grid, whatever it is, they're just not your demographic. But we've got between 67% of people that are not in this emergency situation, but are definitely open to hearing from you. And social media, that's where we really fit in there, is to be able to get in front of the vast majority of homeowners who are open, who are maybe not thinking about needing a new system, but eventually something's going to break or they're not going to be as comfortable at home as they were. You want to be consistently getting in front of these people to build that trust, to help them to know, like, and trust you so that when they are ready, you're the first company that they think of. So stats show that 78% of consumers prefer to learn about a product or service through video. We know video is much more memorable. People retain more of the information that they see in a video as opposed to just reading text. And 87% of consumers say that watching a video actually convinced them to purchase a product or service. So for any of you, whether you have a bit of video experience or not, I'm sure we can all attest that we've seen a video of something, and that's kind of pushed us over the edge to, okay, you know what? I'm actually going to get this thing, or I'm going to give that company a call. So while video may make you want to hide just the thought of putting yourself out there on camera, I really want to help you simplify this, make it easy, and like a muscle, the more that you do it, the more comfortable you'll get in front of a camera and putting yourself out there. So I'm going to run through some questions. I'd love for you to give this some thought, write down some notes, or feel free to add this to the chat. But thinking about video for your business, there's a couple questions I want you to think through to be able to frame what it is that you're going to create. So first of all, understanding what is it exactly that you want your video to achieve? What is the goal of the video that you're going to create next. So that could be, you could be thinking of video as a way to educate homeowners. You could think of video as a way to get your brand out there or stand out from competitors. Or maybe there's a very specific line of service that you want to promote. So think about, what do you want your video to achieve? Secondly, what do you want homeowners to say, think, or feel after watching your video? So thinking about the intention of your video, what you want those homeowners to walk away with. And lastly, what is the number one thing you need potential customers to know? If you had a megaphone and could yell it out across your city, what's the number one thing that you would like people to know? Because that's the message that you can thread through all of your video content. So what we're going to do here, just as you're marinating on those questions a little further, what we're going to do here is really put forward an intentional plan for a specific video. So we'll walk through a framework of how to actually plan out your video so that you know what to say, but you also don't sound like a robot. So looking at planning your video, this is a quick exercise that I like to use with our clients to really be able to frame the video that you're going to record. So in the beginning, you're going to have some sort of hook. So this is something that's meant to capture attention. In the middle, you want to share. So whatever that key message is, that story, those points that you need homeowners to know. And then the last piece is ask. So at the end, you want to make sure you have a call to action so that people know after watching your video what they can do next. So again, in the beginning, we want to capture their attention. You've got your hook. In the middle, you're sharing that key message. Our brains typically cannot absorb more than 3 things. So you want to keep it to 3 things as a maximum in that middle part. And then lastly, your call to action. So what is it that you want them to do at the end? And depending on your plan for this video, you might have slightly different calls to action, whether this is going to be an ad and you're looking to generate leads, or if it's going to be more of a long-term branding awareness piece that might have a much softer call to action. So let's run through an example, and this is pretty well the exact framework that we've used with a lot of our clients to be able to do a lead generation video ad on financing, as an example. Okay, so a hook might be something like, hey homeowners, did you know that you can get a new air conditioner today and not have to pay anything until 2026? So something that you're calling out the people that you're trying to get their attention and having some sort of question benefit that you're leading with to get their attention. Okay, your middle, that's where you're sharing whatever that message is. So, for example, you can get a new AC installed in as little as 48 hours from company ABC with no upfront payment and no monthly payments until next year. So whatever that key thing is in the middle that you want to share. And then lastly, the ask, your call to action. So that could be something as simple as click below to see if you qualify. Okay, so this could be one example. So I'm curious, for our people that are here live, do you have any topic in mind or anything that you want to create a video about that we can kind of play with here in terms of an example? If there's any brave guinea pigs on here. Okay, if anybody wants to pipe up at any point, I know you're probably still working through these things, but if you want to.
So we just did one, and we just started offering JB labor warranties. So we wanted to be informational and get some of that information out. So it's a good one for this example with the hook and the sharing the points and that kind of thing.
Okay, amazing. All right, so let's talk through this a little bit more then. What are some of the details about that warranty that you want to make sure to get across?
That anybody that's purchased a unit, not just from us, but from any company in the last 2 years, we can offer a labor warranty, and labor accounts for 2/3 of the cost of a repair. So it's a good investment for anybody, not even just our customers, but others. So that's why we wanted to do the video to try to reach not only our Facebook followers, but maybe some people on Instagram and things like that.
Ooh, okay, I like that. So let's dig into that a little bit more then. Okay, and Amy, did you already have something in mind in terms of what that hook looks like or any of those pieces?
We thought we should start with, have you purchased an HVAC unit in the last 2 years? That way it wasn't just a call to our customers, but it was, we were trying to be vague and get other people. So in the last 2 years,
Love that. Yeah.
if so, now we offer JB warranty to cover labor cost. Even if your unit has a manufacturer's warranty for parts, the labor warranty can help protect your home and investment even more. Something like that.
Yeah.
I'm literally writing a letter.
Now, this is great. Okay, and break it down for me. What does JB warranty mean?
It's just a new company that we're going with. Most of our other units apparently offered some parts and labor, but some of our units we sold in the past did not offer labor warranties with them. And so this gives us an opportunity to help cover those people and hopefully acquire new customers from even competitors. So
Yeah, okay. I like that a lot. And then what would be your call to action?
if you want to learn more, please give us a call. And then we did a tracking number phone call.
That's my phone number. Okay, I like that. So, some things that you might want to play with there. I really liked what you said about the labor is often 2/3, correct me if I'm wrong, of the cost of a repair. That might be something that would, I'm just thinking through that a little bit. So if you did something like, hey, did you know that labor is often 2/3 of the cost of a repair, but your average warranty program is only covering the parts? What do you do if your system breaks down? Like kind of using that, because that's the ultimate benefit of this new warranty program is like there's a gap in what they have existing, and if a breakdown happens, they're going to be out a lot of money. So you could kind of flip that a little bit to say, yeah, labor is often 2/3 of the cost of a repair, but most homeowners, their warranty isn't actually covering that. If you've purchased an AC unit in the last 2 years, we can help to make sure that you're fully covered should your system need a fix. So now we cover labor and parts. This can help protect your home even more. Call us to learn more at blah, blah, blah.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Does that help?
Yes, it does. So
Well, thank you for being our brave guinea pig. I appreciate that.
I'll turn audio back.
Oh, that's great. Thanks so much. Yeah, and definitely let us know how that video turns out. I want to see it, so it's great. All right, so I encourage all of you as well to go through that process, think about the hook, What is it that your homeowners, your potential customers are really going to care about or lead with? So in that example, I'm kind of poking at a fear or a pain a little bit, not in a malicious way, but it is something that, like, yeah, if your system's going to break down and you're not covered in this way, that's something that would capture their attention up front. So thinking about, yeah, how can I get somebody to sit up in their chair a little bit, stop their scroll to pay attention to the rest of what you have to say. So this is an easy way that you kind of map things out. I often recommend, if you're planning out a video, you can do a script of like exactly word for word what you're going to say. But most of us, what happens when we actually do a script is that we end up reading it and then we sound like a robot. So if you do something where you just say, okay, I need a quick hook at the beginning, the middle, I want to hit point A, B, and C, and the end, I'm going to have my call to action. You can then fill in the blanks a little bit there without reading word for word what you're going to say. So, for example, in Amy's case here, I might do something like a note to myself, like 2/3 of the cost. Might want to call that homeowner specifically. Purchase last 2 years. Kind of something like that, like quick little jot notes, so that you can look at that visually, you know exactly what you're going to say, but again, not something that you're reading off of in the moment. Okay, so this is definitely something that I recommend, especially if you're getting started in video. It's just an easy way to think through what it is you're going to say. Now, I know for a lot of us, it's like, okay, if I'm just getting started here with video, and maybe this is something you're doing more on an ongoing basis as opposed to like a specific promotion, how do I figure out what topics I can use in my videos? So Google, of course, is a great place to start for ideas. If you type in anything with heating and cooling, that sort of thing, you will see there's a little feature that pops up these are like the questions that people are typically Googling. That is a really great place to start for ideas because it's based on what people are actually looking for. So you can use that and then say, I'm going to do a video on, should I replace my ducts? Or how do I know if my system is energy efficient? Or common signs your furnace needs a repair or upgrade. So you can take some of these things and use that to turn into content. What we often recommend is your customers are often the absolute best source of content. So when you're getting calls, or your CSRs are getting calls, or your technicians are going out to a home, what are the questions? What are the challenges? What are some of those things that people are calling you for? That's a really great place for you to start. So what I like to do is I have a note going in my phone at all times. And when a question comes up from one of our clients or, one of our webinar attendees or anybody that we're talking to, I'll create a running list of those questions. And then when we need more content, we're planning out our marketing for the month, I will go back to that list, and based on how many times I get that question or how concerning or pressing it is for people, I will prioritize those topics. So if you're not customer facing, if you've got a larger team, you've got CSRs, you've got salespeople, you've got technicians, go to your team, ask about, okay, what were some of the questions you had today? What were some of the service calls you were on today? Why did they reach out? You can listen to those phone call recordings when people call your CSRs. So looking at that as a place to get some ideas for what you can talk about. Okay, so now that we've got a framework, we've got some ideas of what it is that we could actually do a video about. Now it's figuring out, okay, how do we make this the most impactful video possible? So we're going to look at some examples here, and I'd love to hear from you guys. What stands out? What seems to work? What do you like about some of these examples that we're going to go through here? Okay, so here are some that we've pulled. Let me just bring those up here for you guys.
Before we even start cleaning the unit, we want to make sure.
Okay, and can you guys hear that okay?
Air conditioner?
Actually, you can and should be hosing down your central air unit. Before we even start cleaning the unit, we want to make sure we turn off the power to the unit. Next, make sure to clean off any debris from the unit. Look at all this debris built up here. That is blocking all our airflow. Sometimes debris will make its way into the unit, so just take a shot vac and vacuum it all out. You'll want to start from the top and move in a sideways motion down.
Should you be using water inside your air conditioner?
Okay, so that's obviously on a loop there. What do we think of that video? And I should say, I have no affiliation with any of these examples. They're just ones we found online and thought they were great and very practical.
I thought it was funny when he threw the leaf off. So.
I like that too.
I was like, oh, okay, that's a little humorous. Maybe I
Yeah.
can add something like that.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a great point. It makes them seem very approachable. Matt says, looks like he knows his stuff and has a following. Confidence. Absolutely. Yeah, and you can tell they're having a bit of fun with it too. But it's also a helpful tip for homeowners that are like, I don't know what to do to be cleaning out my AC. Awesome. Okay, let's take a look at another one. Okay, and this one's on YouTube Short. Okay, so this more vlog style, you know, capturing a day in the life. Matt says about the last one. He also has a helper holding his camera. Yeah, that definitely helps. Okay, so this one we've got our captions here. We've got music, couple quick clips. Any other thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I
It
think
looks,
for
yeah, no,
me
please.
that I don't work directly with HVAC. When you see a video that's showing you like the perspective of what like a day in the life of someone that does it, it's super engaging because then you get to see like in real life action and you get to know how they're doing things. Because when you're a customer, you don't know anything, you just need a service, but you don't know the technique words, you don't know what they're using. So I think this is really helpful, yeah, like to be engaged and to gain that engage with your clients and everything.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like a lot of hard work and like crawling around and stuff. Yeah, I agree. I think for the average homeowner, it's like, wow, it's pretty illuminating. Dennis says, as a general contractor, all I can wonder is if she's charging hourly for making videos. Fair enough. But I mean, that brings up a great point because, yes, I understand the viewpoint is a little bit different. But if this is an employee of yours, them helping to really showcase the work that you guys do, this is something that is going to help your business because you're getting that content. You're able to show homeowners, show your potential audience what it is exactly that you guys do. Awesome. Jenna says, content is great. I aspire to have this confidence. Absolutely. Well, I hope we'll get you there. Okay. And another last example here.
And air conditioning, plumbing, electrical services. Don't be swayed by the heat pump naysayers. Thousands of homeowners across the Okanagan and northern BC are already saving big with dual fuel heating and cooling systems. With up to $15,000 in rebates from Fortis BC, there's never been a better time to upgrade. Efficient, reliable, and always easy on your budget. Call Vernon Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electrical Services today and start saving.
Okay, so this one's obviously a much more direct video where, well, I'll stop talking. What do you guys think about this one? I'm looking to my left because this is where I have the chat. Any thoughts on this one, or, the videos overall? Are these simple enough, like you could see yourselves doing this kind of video? Matt says, I feel this is great, but his next video should be like the girl before to keep things spicy. This will get boring. Yeah, absolutely. This is definitely, that's a great point. This is not something that you're going to want to heavily push in your social media because it is more promotional. But this type of video would do really well as an ad because it's got more of a direct call to action, promoting the rebate, that side of things. Yeah, great point. Dennis said he brought attention to the rebates, but didn't exactly provide any answers to the naysayers. Yeah, I think that's fair. There's a little bit here in the copy here in terms of, the misconception that heat pumps don't work well in cold climates. So yeah, great point. Okay, awesome. Any other thoughts on what you're looking for when it comes to creating a great video? Okay, so we've got a couple different styles there. We've talked about the more direct one, like the last example, versus some of these. Our first one was more educational. Second one was more like day in the life, kind of showcasing the realities of the job. Okay, so a couple things to keep in mind with your videos. Amy says to keep engagement. Yeah, absolutely. The pace, I think, and we've seen, the first one as an example had like quick clips, even though he was educating, kind of talking through the whole thing. You had multiple clips and different scenes a little bit to keep your attention. Second one, we've got the clips, but did kind of stretch a little bit because there's not talking or anything like that. So thinking about those things. And then our last one was much more direct. It was just one shot, but you've got the captions there, which are kind of keeping your visual attention as a piece of that too. Any other thoughts, Amy, in terms of what you found engaging or what held your attention more?
So I know for our social media that I am seeing that we have done a lot in the past, but we are not getting as many likes and shares and that kind of thing. And so I am trying to keep engagement and keep things fresh. And you don't want people unfollowing.
Yes.
So you've got to mix it up some. So
Yeah, absolutely. Perfect. All right. So, of course, some of these things are subjective, but overall, for a great video, you want it to be entertaining or engaging in some way, digestible. So, you don't want to have too much information, too much kind of happening in there. Relatable. Certainly, again, kind of goes back to the goal. Maybe sometimes you don't necessarily want to be relatable, but if you're looking to build trust with your homeowners, then yeah, like our first video, which was kind of wholesome and, flicking off the debris from the unit, that made it something that was much more relatable, approachable, that sort of thing. Having sound or music. So yeah, music can be a way to easily just kind of augment your video a little more. It helps to keep that attention like we saw in the second one. Captions, super important. We'll talk about that a little bit more later. Having your key info in the safe zones, we'll talk a little bit about that as well. But if you have captions, like you don't want them too low or too high because they could get cut off depending on the device that somebody has. And lastly, using people. It's actually, Facebook has released some stats that they get like a 12% higher click-through rate if there's a person in the video versus not having a person. So whether that's yourselves, someone on your team, or a customer in some case, having an actual person in the video makes a huge impact. Okay, so based on some of those things we've gone through here, you want to think through your video plan, your storyboard here. What does this visually look like in terms of how you're going to shoot things, how you're going to actually create that end video? So you may want to make some notes on your plan there to make sure that, as Amy said, you're keeping that engagement. All right, and our third piece, how to actually take that video, get it out there, and maximize your reach across multiple platforms. Now, I know most of us here are not professional videographers, okay? And we're not aiming to be, so I want to keep this super simple. So this is something that you can actually take away and do. Most of the videos that we do at Reflective are on our phones. And what we encourage clients to do as well is to use their phones for the most part. There is absolutely a time and a place for professional video, and that's important too. But generally, we've also seen that like talking head style, selfie style video has often gotten way better performance in our ad campaigns than if we had a professionally produced video. So if you're thinking about video and that's a bit of an intimidation factor of like, hey, I don't know how to record, like this is beyond me, this is actually going to work in your favor. If you can use your phone and hit that record button, you're going to be good to go. So to give you some tips of really how to make this video something that you can easily use, the first thing is filming vertically. So by that I mean your phone's the long way so that you can capture video that's going to work for the most platforms. So as long as you're filming vertically, and generally if you're in that 60 to 90 second range for your video, that's going to work across all your platforms. So do those two things, and you don't need to worry about like, oh, is this the right aspect ratio? All that sort of stuff that is technical. As long as you film vertically, aim for 60 to 90 seconds of your video, that's going to keep you in the safe zone with Facebook, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, TikTok. You're in a good place. When you're actually shooting the video, I know iPhone for sure, I think most phones, you can have grid lines so you can see if it's straight. That's super important. So using those to make sure that you're staying in the right area. Generally, you want to set your phone at eye level. So if you have a helper that can hold the video camera, great. If you don't, you can absolutely do a selfie style. There's also little like tabletop tripod things or like a gimbal. Most of those things are going to cost you anywhere from like $10 to $100. Not a huge investment, but that's going to make sure that your shots are steady. And again, in some cases, you may want that movement. You know, if you're outside of a customer's house and just kind of walking, that's okay too. In some cases, that's going to work better. Okay, similarly, you might want to try different backgrounds or different shots. So what I mean by that is trying a video where you're outside, trying a video from within, you know, if you're in your truck or in the warehouse, trying out a couple of those different things just to see what actually seems to capture people's attention better. Okay, and lastly, this is probably the number one thing you can do to improve your videos is to use a microphone. So there are all sorts of different ones that you can buy on Amazon or your local electronics store, but this as an example, it's just a little clip-on one, comes in a case. I use this all the time. There's a bottom piece that plugs into your phone. You just kind of clip it on. A lot of times you can get a wind mic, which is kind of like this, where it's like a foam piece that just goes over the top, or like a furry kind of pom-pom looking thing. And what that does is just make sure that your sound works even if it's like windy outside or that sort of thing. So again, those are pretty inexpensive, under $100 for the most part, and that will make sure that your sound is crisp. You're not getting a lot of this like whirring or like background noise. It's really easy to hear you, especially if you're filming outside. That's something that you really want to have. All right, any questions about the technical recording piece, or does this seem like fairly simple? You think this is something that you could do? I'm going to take that as a good to go. So yeah, like I said, with that, if you're filming vertically, you're kind of keeping under 90 seconds, you will be able to use that on all channels. Now, some videos you may want to do longer form. Like if it is a bigger educational piece, that might be a little bit longer. And then, instead of a YouTube short, for example, maybe it's a regular YouTube video. Instead of an Instagram reel, it's a regular one. So not a big deal if you do go over those, but for the most part, you want to be in that sweet spot. Okay, and some of the things we've talked about already. So again, filming vertically, safe zone. So you want to keep your key messages or any captions within that initial square, not too far on the bottom, not too far up top. And sound will help to keep somebody's attention. So you may want to experiment a little bit with music. If you're uploading that to Instagram, TikTok, they have the options to just add the music at that point. So you don't need to get into fancy editing or anything like that. Okay. So those are a couple of tips. Generally, Reels in particular, we see that do extremely well in terms of driving a better cost per lead in ad campaigns as an example, but Facebook Meta supports this as well, that generally people are seeing 13% higher return on ad spend, 29% higher conversion rate. All the stats support that this type of creative does really, really well. The last kind of key piece that we'll mention here is that captions are often neglected, but it makes a huge difference for your performance, for keeping people's eyeballs on you, for keeping that engagement, because 74% of videos on Facebook, as an example, are watched without sound. And you may have people commuting. You may have people that have hearing issues. So there's the accessibility piece, of course, but generally it's human behavior that people are watching without sound. And if you don't have captions on there, you're going to be missing a big part of that audience. Again, most of the tools, like TikTok does have a caption tool built right within it. If you're running ads on Facebook and Instagram, you can apply those automatically. Otherwise, there are third-party tools like different kinds of apps that you can add that will add captions to your video. And if you are super shy or you want to try out some different videos, you can actually hire a spokesperson. So on Fiverr, as an example, there are actors. You hire an actor, you give them a script, they will send you back a video. So if you hate everything else that I just talked about and you're like, you know what, I'm still never getting in front of a camera, you can still do video by finding somebody to help support that. Or it can be something additional that you use with your existing team or yourself in front of the camera. Okay, so with all that in mind, you are ready to be on social media, representing your business, entertaining homeowners, getting in front of your potential customers on a consistent basis. So what we went through here today, of course, is why video is so important for your marketing. We broke down a very simple framework to be able to plan and record your videos. And then we talk through some of those recording best practices so that you can really maximize your reach no matter what platform you're going to be posting on. So I'd love to take any questions in the last few minutes that we have here. I know we went through a lot here, but I hope you're leaving feeling much more confident about your video marketing. What I'd recommend is take this video framework that we went through, your hook, your share, your ask. Map out a couple of videos that you want to do. Block it in your calendar. So, okay, on Monday, I'm going to film these 3 videos. It's really a matter of just getting started. The more you do it and you start to get people commenting, thanking you. I know for me, like when I have a call with somebody and they're like, oh, I saw your videos on social, I know already we're going to have a great conversation because it's just bridged that gap. They already feel like they know me a little bit and we can dive right into it. So I think the positive feedback that you get once you start doing these things, that'll really make it a lot easier for you to keep going. So if you do need help implementing any of this in your business, we do offer a free strategy call. I'd be happy to walk you through how you can actually implement this further into your business. So we'll pop a link in the chat here, or if you're watching the replay, that will be in the video or on YouTube, or you can call us anytime at this number as well. So thank you guys for tuning in. If there are any questions, let's hear them. I'm happy to hang out for the next little bit if you guys have anything to go through. Okay, Dennis says, is there any other apps you recommend for editing? You mentioned TikTok and CapCut editing is my holdback. Yeah, great question, Dennis. Magdalena, I don't know if you wanted to hop in on that because I know you're doing quite a bit of video editing these days.
Yeah, no. So CapCut has like 3 versions. Like you can have the free one, then there's the Pro, and then there's the Pro version of it. You can use the free one and it'll give you captions. You just need to upload your video, and then if you wanted to divide it or if you want it to be just that video, CapCut will let you choose what style do you want on your captions. If you want colors, if you want your specific brand colors, you can also upload those. If you have a special font, you can do that. And you can do that with a free version. So I think that that one's a great option. And TikTok, just using the app, you can get captions for free too.
Awesome, thank you. Yeah, and Dennis, I don't know, is there a specific challenge with editing that you're having? The other thing I'll say, same thing, like any of the platforms natively, they do have a bit of editing built in. Instagram, I find it crashes all the time on me, which is really irritating. But other than that, it's fairly easy to use. And depending on if you're a PC or Mac user, most of my first videos I edited like on my computer. So like iMovie or QuickTime Player has some basic editing built into that as well.
And also Riverside is great for short clips and captions. That one's great
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, so hopefully that helps, Dennis. But yeah, if there's anything specific on the editing front that you're running into, let us know. Matt says, will you be able to share the recording so I can share it with others in the company? Absolutely. So we will send out the replay. We'll also pop this up on YouTube. So we'll make sure that you have those links so you can share this with the team. And what platform is best for marketing, you think? Our company seems to hit and miss on Facebook and Instagram. Great question. I think it depends on what it is that you're trying to do. So, Matt, can you tell me a little bit more about the company? Is this HVAC? Are you guys doing residential? What does that look like?
I'm going to unmute for a second because it's
Yeah.
too much to type.
I know.
Sorry. We're an electrical company by trade, but we specialize in HVAC, solar, and generators. Just to be clear, I saw you guys online for a while. I thought this might be a great idea to jump in on for everything, but we're trying to get the word out more of our offerings. Like heat pumps are huge right now here in Prince Edward Island. I don't find I'm getting the spread of people on Facebook and Instagram, and I'm not sure really how to take it to the next level. I don't really understand sponsored ads, and maybe that's me being stuck as a business owner trying to dig into it. I should be maybe outsourcing it, but outsourcing it makes me quite nervous because I don't really know what I'm getting into.
Yeah, that's fair. It is hard if you've never done it before in terms of having that, yeah, that kind of foundational knowledge. So I can definitely appreciate that. That was going to be my question. The challenge with organic, so what I mean by that is your regular posts on Facebook and Instagram that you don't have any ad budget behind. The challenge with organic or unpaid posts is that for the most part, you're limited to those people that already follow your company. So the likes that you have on Facebook or the followers you have on Instagram. You can break out of that a little bit by using hashtags or having like a really engaging video, that type of thing. And this will certainly help, but it's a slow game. So the advertising side of things really comes in if you're looking to accelerate that. And you can either do the approach of more of like a branding approach where you take these videos, you put a bit of spend behind it to reach homeowners in your local market consistently. That's one way. Or you can take more of a lead generation approach where you're getting in front of homeowners with like the rebate as an offer, for example, to get people to raise their hand, say, yes, I'm interested. Here's my contact information. But yeah, with obviously, we're kind of just hitting the overview here, but I would say advertising is probably one of the pieces of the puzzle that you're missing without, diving deeper into what's going on there. So I hope that helps, but great question. Thank you, Matt. Okay, awesome. So thank you guys. I know we're a few minutes over, so we will clue it up there. I will send out the replay, but really appreciate all of you tuning in and all the great questions. And thank you, Amy, for being a brave guinea pig for us. And we are running these every month, so keep an eye on your inbox for the next one. Thank you guys.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.